in the Jive Talkin groove. I'm back in the Jive Talkin news today. Ace Frehley and a lot of stories, I will say. Let's get Jive Talkin and having some fun. And maybe later, honey, I will squeeze your buns. Oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa, take it easy there, guy. Back up. Hold off. Hold on. Take it easy. Cool it. Welcome back to episode 70. I thought about trying to figure out some kind of a disco hit to do, episode 70 of the Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. I thought about doing some kind of a 70s jam, but then I realized I don't know how to play that thing. I don't know what I'm doing, and so it's hard enough for me to come up with an idea. Although I'm set against having an official intro. I feel like it has to be that nonsense every time. But, nevertheless, I don't know how to play disco music, and I don't know how to play it on that. So, welcome one and all back to another episode 70 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. We got stories galore, fun to be had, fun things to talk about. We've got your comments all lined up and ready to go. We got a fun little video we might want to check out here. We're getting right at it. Ace Frehley wants Paul Stanley to apologize for piss comment. We're going to get into this. Hopefully they'll explain it all in the blabbermouth. But basically, Paul Stanley was on the Howard Stern show, and they said, why didn't you do a live performance, and why didn't you do it with the guys, Ace Frehley and Peter Criss? And he said, well, we would have if we wanted it to sound like piss. Well, he threatens to tell, Ace Frehley wants Paul Stanley to apologize for piss comment, threatens to tell some dirt that nobody knows. And that's what I am interested in. In retort to him, I would say this. What do you mean? Paul Stanley didn't put all the dirt in his book? Did he leave some secrets? When you're writing a book about yourself, you're going to make yourself look pretty good. You're not going to go, boy, was I an asshole and a jerk and a dum-dum and no good at anything. You're going to be the star of the book, and everyone else is going to be the fools, the jokers, the dum-dums that got everything wrong when you got it all right. Let's get into this and see what he says. Ace Frehley. And some people, because my whole life I've said Frehley. I've just said Ace Frehley. You don't know how hard that pinches everybody's nipples. It pisses people off if you say Frehley. So you said Ace Frehley said that Paul Stanley has 7 days to apologize to him for the comments he made about the original Kiss guitarist on the Howard Stern show. Earlier this month, radio host Howard Stern asked Stanley why he and fellow original Kiss members Gene Simmons didn't perform with Frehley and drummer Peter Criss at the Rock and Roll Hall induction. Stanley said, here's one. You want some? You like that, don't you? He always says that, but that's not what he's saying. The Rock Hall organizers were demanding, quite honestly, that we play with those two original guys, Peter and Ace. At this point, that would be demeaning to the current Kiss band. And also would give some people confusion. Because if you saw people on stage who looked like Kiss but sounded like that, maybe we should be called Piss. My retort to Paul would be, have you seen Ace? He's out there playing gigs. I mean, like literally, you could look one up from last week. He doesn't sound all that bad, and he's doing just fine. During an appearance earlier today, Wednesday, March 29th on Sirius XM's Trunk Nation with Eddie Junk in the Trunk, Ace blasted Paul for his comments saying, you know what it is? It's Paul's frustration and insecurity that he has to use backing tapes. And we're only 6 months apart, and I can still get up there and belt it out, just like Shane said, and hit the keys, and he can't. And it's very unfortunate. And I'm very sad about the fact that he's using backing tracks. It's cheapening the brand. which affects my bottom line because I still get paid from Kiss on merchandising and whatever else they do. And I'm pissed off about it. I love that. Everything that Ace Frehley has just put in that, what do you call that when it's a big plunket of sentences? I'm forgetting. A paragraph. There we go. Everything he has said in this paragraph here has got on Paul's tits. Paul read that, and every single bit of it, every sentence pissed him off. Frehley added, those guys have been bad-mouthing me since I quit the very first time in 1981-82, calling me a drug addict, calling me an alcoholic, saying I'm unemployable, I'm undependable, and then when we did the Unplugged thing for MTV, all of a sudden I'm offered millions of dollars to come back to the band. Oh, what happened? Now I'm not a drug addict, and I'm dependable, and you're willing to take a shot at hiring me again? Question mark. In fact, they offered me more money than they offered Peter. Well, that's going to piss Peter off, but I think there was a bit of that going on, right? You're talking about the 96 reunion tour. Here's Frehley. The reunion tour was one of the most successful tours Kiss ever did. It grossed over $250 million the first year. It was the largest grossing tour of that year by any band in the United States and Europe. And I got paid and I said, okay, I'll see you guys. I'm going back to my solo career. And then all of a sudden they said, no, we're thinking about doing a farewell tour. I said, okay, what kind of money are we talking about, fellas? And it was acceptable. And I said, why not make a few more $1 million? Ah, God, I'd love to say that. Why not make a few more million? Oh, I'd love that. Circling back to Stanley's comments about him, Ace said, and they left out the questions asked by Eddie the Junk in the Trunk. Because he would have said, so what's your thoughts on what Paul said, of course, on the Howard Stern show? So he just answered him, right? Circling back, he says, let me tell you something, my brother and the fans. Nobody knows this, but when I was living in San Diego with my then-girlfriend, I got a phone call from Paul, Doc McGee, Kiss manager, and Gene. We did a conference call, and they were asking me to play with them on stage. They wanted me to play. They wanted to do it. And I said, I'm not getting up on stage with Tommy Thayer, current Kiss guitarist. I remember this bit. And if he's wearing my makeup, you expect me to wear makeup? There will be 2 spacemen. Are you crazy? I'll do it if it's just us 4, the original founding members who created something very special. For the last 15 years, they have other people playing what Peter did, and Tommy's copying every solo I ever wrote. Okay, I won't do the high pitch. And trying to copy my moves and trying to be cool on stage, but unsuccessfully. There's a laugh right there. Unfortunately. But with all the bombs and the smoke and the mirrors, they're getting away with it. Personally, I don't give a shit as long as I'm getting paid by them. Oof. I really want to, you've read my book, you've read Paul's book, you've read Peter's book. A lot of times there are guys throwing people under the bus. I mean, in Paul's book, he even threw Gene under the bus. What I tried to do was have fun, entertaining book with interesting stories, and this is the way I am. I'm not the kind of guy who kisses and tells. That's a play on words, isn't it? Who kisses and tells, because he is a guy who kisses. When it comes to negativity, and we've all done things that we regret over the years, I have a 120-page manuscript that I wrote after I finished my book. My attorney has it in a safety deposit box. God forbid anything happens to me, because Paul will kill. My attorney is instructed to release it to the New York Times, Rolling Stone, and API, everybody. So they can't intimidate me without trying to hurt me or say, you'd better not say anything about me live on the radio, because then they're totally screwed. Their careers will be ruined. What? Despite everything that has been said between him and his former bandmates, Frehley acknowledged that he would still be willing to share the stage with Stanley and Simmons. They've got the weirdest relationship because he's like, one minute they say, this guy's the biggest turd we've ever, and then they go, yeah, we love him. It's like they really are kind of a weird family, right? He acknowledged that he would still be willing to share the stage with Stanley and Simmons when Kiss play their final show in New York City this December. I was actually hoping that maybe they'd invite me to come back for a third time. Not because I really want to play with them, because we created something really special and I'm the best fit in the band. He said, always, always, always will be. You think Tommy Thayer can do what I can do? Impossibility. So there you have that. He's got 7 days before he goes and opens that lockbox. Let's get into this. Guys, there's a turn in the term of phrase. You know the Pantera, what do they call it? They say, don't call it a reunion. You know, they got Charlie Benante on the drums, and they got Zakk Wylde, and they got Phil, and they got Rex, right? And there's Zakk Wylde calls it Pantera University. We're just doing this. Well, now, Charlie Benante used a very interesting word here that I'm caressing with my mousy thing. Comeback. Charlie Benante knows he is doing something right by taking part in the Pantera comeback. Now, to me, that sounds like we're going to do new material. That sounds like this isn't over. This is going to be something that we continue to do because the money's flowing in. Charlie Benante said that he knew that he had done something right by taking part in the Pantera comeback more than 20 years since the last time the band performed live. Joining the Anthrax drummer in Pantera's reformed lineup are surviving members Rex Brown, bass, Philip Walk On Homeboy, Anselmo, vocals, along with guitarist Zakk Wylde, Ozzy Osbourne, and the Black Label Society. According to Billboard, the lineup was given a green light by the estate of the band's founder, drummer Vincent Vinnie Paul Abbott, and guitarist Dimebag Darrell Abbott. It was first reported in July 2022 that Anselmo and Brown would unite with Wylde and Benante for a world tour under the Pantera banner. Pantera recently played 9 shows in Mexico, South America, and Japan, and will next headline a number of major festivals across North America, Europe, and Asia. I'm going to go see it. And stage some of their own headline concerts. See, they're going to headline shows. They will also support Metallica on a massive North American stadium tour in 2023 and 2024. So they're going to go for it. And Benante's loving that. When's the last time Anthrax has shared the stage with Metallica? Benante opened up about his participation in Pantera's return during a recent interview with Consequence. Speaking about some of the criticisms he received for his involvement with Pantera, Charlie said as transcribed by Blabbermouth. Hey, listen here, buddy. I don't go online looking for people's negative comments about it. There's people that send me, hey, did you see this? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Why did you send me this? Why ruin my day? I think the people who do these things, these comments, I don't think they realize how much of an effect that they could have on people, he continued. And whether or not you hate the situation or whatever it is, why can't you find some sort of restraint? Why do you need to say those thoughts that you have? Can't you just hold it in and maybe, like, I'll keep my thoughts to myself? Ever thought of that? No, they gotta tell you. I've never seen more of it in my life than I did these past couple of months about just people being judgy and judging. Regardless his personal approach to playing the parts originally written and recorded by Vinnie Paul, Charlie said, I just spent a lot of time on Vinnie's parts, and more importantly, the tone that Vinnie had, and he does have a pretty good tone. He's got it pretty rock solid. I want it to sound like Pantera. That was my thing. And my drum configuration is different from the Anthrax one because I wanted to challenge myself to play those parts like he played them in that configuration, which to me was more important than anything in this whole entire world. But yet, people still have to find some problem in that. According to Benante, the initial rehearsal of the Pantera comeback tour were an emotional thing. For Philip and Rex, too, because they didn't play as a group. Those two hadn't played together in a long time. Playing Pantera songs, yeah, they played together in town. Sure, they played together in town. They didn't play together in Pantera. But this was an emotional thing for them. And I remember, after the week of rehearsals that we did, saying goodbye was weird. It was really weird because it was an emotional thing. We really kind of bonded, the three of us. Zach wasn't there at the time. And I'll just keep my opinions, you know, when you're judging and stuff like that, when I was just talking about that, saying about the judging and all that, I'm going to keep my opinions to myself on Zach. But for me, I knew I had done something right. Brown was forced to leave Pantera's Latin American tour after testing positive for COVID, so that's why he stepped out for a few shows. Filling in for him at some of the shows was Cattle Decapitation bassist Derek Engman, who also played with Anselmo in both Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals and Scour. Yes, I do remember this. It was saw some clips where people were saying that he's doing a really good job. A bang-up job, really. Up until his passing, Vinny remained on non-speaking terms with Anselmo, who the drummer indirectly blamed for Dimebag's death. Vinny Paul and Dimebag co-founder Pantera. When Pantera broke up in 2003, they formed Damage Plan. On December 8, 2004, while performing Damage Plan at the El Rosa Villa in Columbus, Ohio, Dimebag was shot and killed on stage and by a troubled schizophrenic who believed that members of Pantera were stealing his thoughts. Yeah, he said that he heard old Phil Anselmo say, "You better walk on home, boy." And he says, "By God, I've said that before." Yeah, okay, so I guess that's it. He's just very happy. He thinks that he's done a great thing. My only point is, I don't think that it stops. I think at some point you say, well, we just realized we had a good kind of thing going, and we really had a good vibe going. And Zach said that he thought he might be able to write a couple Dimebag riffs, so we put out a single to make a little greenbacks. How Rob Zombie accidentally ripped off the Sword song Freya. I listened to these. I encourage you to go listen to these because you will say, holy bananas, yes indeed. I did a TikTok about it, but I did want to get into the story and find out exactly what's going on with it. Guitarist vocalist John D. Cronis of Austin, Texas metal luminaries The Sword say that he was shocked when he found out that Rob Zombie ripped off his band's song more than a decade ago. Earlier today, Tuesday, March 28th, Cronis tweeted out a link to Revolver's list of 20 greatest Rob Zombie songs, which included Virgin Witch, from Rob Zombie's 2010 effort, Hellbilly Deluxe. And he included the following message: "Not sure how to feel about this, but I also wasn't sure how to feel when he ripped off our song." So Freya from The Sword doesn't make it on the top 20 best things, but I guess they were just doing it about Robert Zombie, right? When one fan asked Cronis, if I apologize on the name, to clarify if he actually co-wrote the song, he responded, "No, but I'm credited as a co-writer because it sounded so much like The Sword's 2006 track, Freya, it's weird." And it is. Cronis went on to say that it was a shock to us when Virgin Witch came out. Our management at the time sucked, and the best they could do was get me a co-writer credit. So he's getting paid something for it, right? John added that he never met Rob Zombie or Jonathan Five alive. Back in 2010, shortly after Hellbilly Deluxe 2 was released, Rob actually addressed the similarities between the two songs in an interview with Straight.com, where he says, "Yes, I'm a straight man. Don't you see my wife, Sherry Moon Zombie? You know, I'm in love with her. I put her in all my movies and she's lousy. Okay, I didn't say that. And that's not the way Rob Zombie sounds. Explaining that then guitarist John 5 accidentally lifted the main guitar riff. Yeah, I said beat, bop, digga, digga, bop, bop. If there's one thing I can guarantee, it's that John 5 is so phenomenally talented, he's not out there stealing riffs from other bands. I agree. But even he admitted that he hears things and gets locked into his head sometimes. He totally admitted, fuck. That sounds just like it. I don't know how that happened. They made it all the way into the recording studio, recorded the song, put it on a CD, pressed it, and sent it out before they went, ooh, that's a little close to the... So we contacted that band, The Sword, immediately. That band. We're not going to bullshit people, you know. You write hundreds and hundreds of songs, and you have so much music in your head, and it happens all the time. It happened the other night, too, where we took another song for somebody. We were writing something, and John was all excited about it, and I was like, John, I got to tell you, that sounds exactly like this White Zombie song from 15 years ago. So I played it for him, and he's like, oh my God, it does. You try your best not to copy things, but sometimes it happens, and it does, okay? You can't know every damn song in the world all the time. You write a tune, you think it's good, you come back. Think about punk rock songs. I mean, the same punk rock song has probably been written 800 times. You just don't know it because each one of them are different and interesting and good and catchy. Back in 2009, Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich performed Freya with the Sword at Lanxess Arena in Cologne, Germany. First conceived in 2003, the Sword hit its stride about a year later when Kronis joined forces with guitarist Kyle Schutt, bassist Brian Ritchie, and drummer Trivette Wingo. That's a great name. For a much raved about appearance at Austin's famed South by Southwest Festival. National touring stints with everyone from Clutch to indie rock darlings And You Will Know Us by the Trail of Dead followed. And the 2006 The Sword released its debut album Age of Winters. From there, they went on to release 5 further studio album tours with the likes of Metallica, Lamb of God, Trivium, Caius Lives. Is that a version of Caius? Caius Lives, and Opeth, who are amazing live, and see their music reach millions through placement in Guitar Hero. That's where I first heard Freya from. But I also see this over here. It says, and the cult classic film Jennifer's Body. My God, are you a fan of Megan Fox? If you, that's a great horror movie for one, and boy, oh boy, is she a delight to see with my eyes when I'm looking at it. When I'm looking at her, I'm just like, it's delighting me. It's like a dessert. So there you have that. Now we're going to get into this. We're wishing Blaze Bayley a whole hell of a lot of well wishes here because he's going to be undergoing triple heart bypass surgery. Now, he was in Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden just paid for the surgeries to Paul Di'Anno. Will it be in this story below? And will they pay for his triple bypass? I don't think they will, but let's find out. We want to wish him all the best in the world. Former Iron Maiden singer Blaze Bayley to undergo triple heart bypass surgery. Former Iron Maiden singer Blaze Bayley will undergo that surgery. Possibly a quadruple bypass surgery. That's all 4 ventricles. Following his recent heart attack. A heart bypass surgery or coronary artery bypass graft, CABG surgery, is used to improve blood flow to the heart. A surgeon uses blood vessels taken from another area of the body to bypass the damaged arteries. Can you hear that? The hell is that? The term triple bypass refers to the number of coronary arteries bypassed in the procedure. In other words, a triple bypass means 3 coronary arteries are bypassed. So I was right. It's like I'm a surgeon. Blaze suffered a heart attack at his home on Saturday, March 25th, and was rushed to the hospital as a result of the heart's health setback. The singer's shows for March and April have been postponed. If there's anyone that has a good, positive mental attitude about it, it's Blaze Bayley. I think he's gonna come through it, and I think he's gonna be even stronger than ever. Beer drink. I think he will pull through. Earlier today, Wednesday, March 29th, Mark Appleton and Christopher Appleton, who handle the management and concert bookings for Blaze's solo band, released the following statement via social media. We visited Blaze in the hospital yesterday. And first of all, we're delighted to say we found him in excellent spirits. That guy could be in the trenches of World War II. He's got a smile on his face. It's just the kind of guy he is. Sitting up in bed, we of course had an update on his condition, but also a really good chat and a laugh as normal. Blaze has certainly not lost his strength and sense of humor. Moving on from that, he does require surgery, and within the next few days, as soon as hospital capacity allows, he will undergo a triple, possibly quadruple heart bypass. I thought they just cleaned him out. I didn't know, like, they take veins, and I thought they just kind of cleaned it out real good or something. This is obviously not a small matter, and we should expect that his recovery period will be many months. We will also announce the impact on the tour diary once we've discussed with the relevant venues and promoters. Nevertheless, Blaze is looking ahead with optimism for a full recovery with good health and fitness, and a full benefit of the surgery and treatment. If you remember right, David Letterman had a quadruple, all 4 ventricles bypass, and he's still humming along, right? I think that his good spirit will get him far. On behalf of Blaze and all of us in the team, we thank you so much for all the messages of love and support, and it really has been incredible, and Blaze is both energized and emotional in response. Is there anything about the 59-year-old Bayley fronted Iron Maiden from 1994 until 1999? The 2 Maiden albums he appeared on was The X Factor and Virtual XI. Sold considerably less. Yeah, we know that. I just want to, since leaving Iron Maiden, I just want to see where Iron Maiden's going to pick up the bill. Since leaving Maiden, okay, this is Blaze. Since leaving Maiden, I've made 11 studio albums of my own. It's over 25 years ago that I joined Maiden. It's nearly 30 years now. It's just 5 years that I was with Maiden. With Wolfsbane, we're back together. We're together longer than I was in Iron Maiden. Well, that accent's really going all over the place, isn't it? It's nice that it's so well thought of people are still interested, Blaze added. I've learned a lot. The experiences that I've had have affected me, and I've learned. And if you listen to my War Within Me album, my new album, you can tell the Iron Maiden influence on that. You can absolutely tell. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm like, well, this is what I enjoy and learned in Maiden. And you'll hear parts of this that are the hints that in the War Within Me album, you'll also hear the development of me as an artist. Going on beyond that, right? Where's the part where Iron Maiden's going to pay the bills? Where's that? Guys, I'm not seeing anything that says Iron Maiden has Mr. Steve Harris has reached out to say, by God, we're paying his quadruple bypass, but we wish him all the best. Can we get a moment of silence? You guys have a moment of silence. I'm going to have a moment of beer. Oh! If you're under 21, don't drink beer, okay? If you're over 21, moderation, please. Before we get into your comments, I thought it would be kind of neat to see old Robert Trujillo. There he is with his daughter and his wife. They're going to do a Black Sabbath song. So I wanted to read a bit about this, and we're just going to watch a brief little snippet of it. And then, of course, we got your comments. You know that. You know that, don't you? What? I'm going on like, a week and a half, 2 weeks now with a head cold. Metallica's Robert Trujillo, joined by his wife and daughter for a performance of Black Sabbath's Hand of Doom. We're not going to watch all this, but Metallica bassist Robert Trujillo, who was joined with his wife Chloe vocals and daughter Lola drums, along with Ministry guitarist, oh really, Cesar Soto, or a performance of the Black Sabbath classic Hand. I don't know why it says "or" right there, but that's not me, guys. Performance of the Black Sabbath classic Hand of Doom. At this point, this past Tuesday night, March 28th, at the Ultimate Jam Night at the Whiskey A Go Go in West Hollywood, California. Watch the video performance below. I didn't know about any Ultimate Jam, but maybe we can do some stuff with that, right? Check into some of that. Maybe do some videos. Hosted by comedian and VH1 host Hal Sparks, the benefit featured appearances by other high-profile rockers, including Anthrax guitarist Scott Ian, Motor Sister vocalist Pearl Aday, which is also Scott Ian's wife, as well as members of OK Go, Bad Wolves, POD, Ministry, Whitesnake, Violence, Dirty Honey, Palais Royale, Joyous Wolf, Armored Saint, and King's X. So there, wow, it was just like a little fun jam. Okay, guys, let's get into this. Let's see.
We found a dude hanging around backstage, and this guy. This guy. Enjoy yourselves.
Oh my heavens! This guy's got his cheetah print clipboard and everything. Boy, his wife's got long dready hair.
Are you ready?
I've never even seen her before. This is great.
All right.
His daughter looks like she's about 7. All right, what's she got? Sing it there. Sing it there. What was her name? Judy?
What's you gonna do? Time's caught up with you.
Oh boy. We may have to dive deeper into this.
Now you wait your turn. You know there's no return. Take your rest.
You know there's no return. Daughter's kicking it back there. Man, he's got... I mean, we know where the talent comes from, right? He's supplied the seed. I mean, his son is a fantastic bass player that's been on tour with Korn when Fieldy went missing. And the daughter's back there banging them drums pretty good. I think I know a thing or two about the drums. And then he's in the biggest heavy metal band of all time. So I think, yeah, okay. Okay, we're going to get into your comments. Guys, we may have to go back and dig a little deeper in that because I don't know if you're feeling the same way I'm feeling about those vocals, but it kind of sounds like I do when I roll out of bed in the morning. I got that grog in my voice, but it's time for those comments of yours. Now, we do have a few that I need to make note of, and I will when we get to them. But we got Ryan Wade here, and he's coming in. And he's got some stuff, so let's do it. Come on now, baby. Bobby Blitz is the Iggy Pop of thrash metal. I take that as a compliment. He will have a six-pack abs till he's 80 years old. His skin begins to melt off. By the way, Jason Bittner, yeah, fantastic drummer, who is now Overkill's drummer, is from my local scene, and one of my claims to fame is doing guest vocals on a song with his old band, Burning Human. That's a good title. Good name. As I commented on the recent Overkill video, a 6 Degrees of Jason Bittner That would be tough, I'm thinking. Could definitely be developed, as he has played with or rubbed elbows with everyone in metal. I don't. Maybe he has. He's an amazing drummer. He is great. Still Ryan here. Let's see. Speaking of Slaughter, I still listen to Stick It To Ya every spring. I also assumed Burning Bridges was about Vinnie Vincent. Yes, I think so too. I think that song Burning Bridges is about Vinnie Vincent. They've never had anything really nice. Anyone has had anything nice to say about Vinnie Vincent. I think we should all try and get in the comments and say one nice thing about Vinnie Vincent. He wears nice pantsuits. I'll start. Is that atrocious? Okay, let's read this one more time. Because I missed something. Burning Bridges was about Vinnie Vincent. Is that accurate? Please don't anyone fall for the Vinnie Vincent album or jam experience. His track record for following through is atrocious. If you watch the footage of Vinnie and Gene from the 2018 event, prepare to cringe. It is very awkward, and it is. Gene tries to leave to give Vinnie the spotlight, but Vinnie begs him to stay and just laughs at all of Gene's quips. Yeah, it's pretty. But I think he was kind of like, man, these guys, they're not cutting me. I think the dude deserves more money. I don't know how much they paid him. I don't know what he's ever made, but I'll tell you what, Lick It Up was one hell of an album. And if he wrote 8 songs on there and then wrote more on Revenge, that guy should not be living ass to mouth and charging people $500 to come listen to his Juggernaut 2000 whatever. Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Another thing about Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Okay, this is still Ryan here. Another thing about Jeffrey Dean Morgan from last week. He has property in a rural area of upstate New York, not too far from where I live. He has some affiliations with Samuel's Sweet Shop there, which is owned by Paul Rudd. Really? Every woman's secret crush, Paul Rudd. Every lady likes him. We traveled to the quaint town of Rhinebeck, New York, from time for pizza, of course, but have yet to have any run-ins with Ant-Man or Negan. I'm off to watch some Beyond Belief. I'm telling you, man. You guys get over there and tell me all about it, because you're going to love that show. It is so bad. So the dialogue, the acting, everything about it. The stories, they're just, all of them are terrible. But well done there, sir. Mike Buchanan, we got the Mike Buchanan right here. Today's bad movie we watched was terrible, but we love it anyways. I give you Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Okay, imagine Winnie the Pooh as a slasher, killer. Yeah, I just said that. It's so bad that it's great. This is real. I want to watch. Oh, and he adds in Piglet, and they eat Eeyore. So there you go. I gotta see it. I gotta see that. Trademark issues with that. You can do a horror movie with those 3 characters, and Overkill is my all-time favorite band. Good man. One of the biggest reasons they never changed their musical style just to fit in with the times, as well as they just keep pumping out the albums. Imagine if Metallica would have put out 20 albums. They probably sound like Taylor Swift now. Not that far off, right? Taylor Swift now, but we'd have more music. As far as Overkill, they came from the area in New Jersey that I am from, and we used to see them perform at high schools outdoors, like in parks. It was great when we found out they released an album, but it also sucked because they just disappeared from the local scene overnight. Yeah. In union we stand as they blaze across the land. They hit it with the Taking Back, right? Or no, what was it? The EP that they put out was Taking Over was the first big record, right? I would love to hear new music from Slaughter, not the Canadian Slaughter. There's a Canadian Slaughter. Thinking it's not even going to happen, I did see Slaughter live back in their heyday, as well as I saw them in 2020. Literally the last concert I saw before shutdown happened. Okay. Still Mike Buchanan here. Devil Drivers Dealing with Demons Volume 2 comes out May 12th. The song Through the Depths is great. Go check it out. But not until you finish this video first. Thank you. New Vinny sounds intriguing, but no way would I spend $500 just to go listen to it. Nope. Mike Buchanan says, Steel Panther is good to listen to when you're drunk and have nothing better to do. Exactly. That's why I say they're the perfect band to be playing in between the t-shirt and the beer stands at the festivals. And you walk over and they go, I want to suck your titties tonight. And you just go, yeah, you know. And you get a beer, and, you know, we did the Fat Tone, right? And he reached down there, that singer guy reached down and performing fake fellatios. But yeah, I agree with that. And now, your Jive Talkin jokes of the week. My mother left me the family house in her will, which would be great had she not died in a house fire. Oh, God. That's good. I'm remembering that one. My wife just confessed that she broke my favorite lamp. I don't think I'll be able to look at her in the same light ever again. My wife has banned me from making any more breakfast puns. She says if I make any more, I'm toast. But my kids keep egging me on. That's pretty good. Sad news, my obese parrot died today, but it's a huge weight off my shoulders. Oh! You got to be feeding a bird a hell of a lot of bird seed for it to be obese, right? Or maybe it's some kind of a blood killer, you know, it eats small rodents and stuff. I don't think those little parrots, do parrots eat meat? Put that in the comments. I'd love to know that. Those big, beautiful macaws or whatever, do they eat meat or just bananas and little flakelets that they find on the, you know, forest floor? I can't take my dog to the park anymore. The ducks keep biting him. I should have known this would happen. He's purebred. Ow! Oh, my heavens. My heavens to Betsy. And finally, I told my son he shouldn't listen to losers. Now he won't talk to me. That's the way to do it. Kabang, look at that. There's the proof. There's the heart right there. Okay, now we got two folks here. Now we know them. We appreciate them. Sean, was it Sean Garant? I can read that because it's got the little atsy doodle. And Tim Shively. But I have to set a moratorium or a precedent that I do not take requests on the Jive Talkin videos. Everywhere else, I take the request. I take it on the first listens. I take it on reaction. I take it anywhere I can get it, honey, sister, child. But the Jive Talkin is for episode listeners. So Sean Garant says Morgana Le Fay to Isengard. Check this. Great Sweden metal here. And yes, they still tour and play live. Please, Sean, place that somewhere else. For this reason, you get a heart, or you get a thumb. If I give you the heart, you say, aha. Please post that somewhere else where I may catch eye or wind of it again. Tim Shively, hey brother, it's been a while. Here's a band I was just introduced to a couple of weeks ago. I think you might like them. Eileen. We've done them before on this channel. The song is a new track called We Are Legion. Let me know what you think. Yes, I think she's the beautiful red-headed singer. They're a European band, and I know we have done them once before, but I do not believe that we've done that song. Please, Tim Shively, please repost this. If you listen to this episode, please repost that somewhere. And now, Miss Althea coming in with a banger. She's got a lot of stuff. And if I do remember correctly from the last episode, she was going to try to connect Jason Bateman with Hide of X Japan. Let's see if she does that. The Dumbstruck Fool says, first things first, game on, Ryan Wade. I got something on Jason Bateman and Hide. And it was actually easier than I thought. Okay, so here she goes. Jason and the actress Virginia Madsen both did voices on more than one episode of the animated superhero series Justice League. I loved it when I was watching it as a kid, if you're talking about that one. And Justice League Unlimited, which I loved. Virginia dated Yoshiki. There you go. Virginia dated Yoshiki very briefly in the early 2000s. Yes, really. Of course, Yoshiki was in X Japan with Hide. But wait, there's more. Jason guest starred on an episode of the short-lived TV series The Muppets. I love The Muppets, which I also loved. This was the first primetime sitcom of about 8 years ago, not The Muppet Show. I love that too. Okay, so The Muppets, the redo. The show was filmed at the Jim Henson Company studio, aka Muppet Studio, on La Brea Avenue in Los Angeles. From the mid-1960s to late 1990s, this property was a recording studio complex owned by A&M Records. Hide had space there from 1995 to 98 at the time of his passing. And it was where he worked on the majority of Zilch's album, as well as the third and final solo album. And there was a strip club across the street, I love this kind of stuff, from the studio called Crazy Girls. And it still exists to this day. Hide would frequent the place, but primarily only for the bar. He was more interested in the alcohol, however. Apparently, he always had stacks of cash and was a very generous tipper, regardless of whether or not he was paying attention to anything other than the bourbon. He actually recruited a couple of girls to be models in the 1996 photo shoot he did with the Japanese music magazine Ultra Vite. He made sure they were credited along with the photographer and the stylist, who was also his girlfriend. Now, if Jason just so happened to patronize Crazy Girls is Jason Bateman a Crazy Girls type of fella? At any time while he was filming The Muppets, or even if he walked in there today, then that would be yet another connection. So 3, it is entirely possible that Jason could have been in there at the same time as Hide on any given day or night between 1995 and 98, as Jason has admitted, Jason has admitted to being a big partier during that time. Who knows, maybe they had a couple of drinks together. And Jason Bateman says, "Look at the tits on her, Hide. Let's get another bourbon." Overkill playing bowling alleys. Hello from the gutter ball. Oh! Mic drop. Mic drop right there. I can only imagine how rankings were like totally upturned if it was... What? Rankings? I can only imagine how rankings were likely totally upturned if it was a league night. Mitch Miller was a band conductor and musician noted for big band swing and jazz in the 1940s and the 1950s. Although he was involved in several genres of music throughout the decades, he was a legend. Did I miss something? Did I miss something? Mitch Miller. Oh, okay. She's going. She's the Mitch Miller where I was going. Who the hell's that? In that last episode, Mitch Miller was a band conductor, musically noted for big band swing and jazz in the 1940s and 50s. Although he was involved in several genres of music throughout the decades, he was a legend. Now she goes to Slaughter here. Slaughter, I look forward to the documentary. I only hope that it will be available on a platform, streaming or otherwise, that is available to me. And by that, I mean a service I already pay for or is free. I agree. I can't, yeah. The shit is starting to add up. Rest in peace, Tim Kelly. Yeah, I mean, you know, you drop the cable companies or whatever, but now you're just fishing it out. 5 here, 10 here, 12 here, 15 here. And it adds up. Let's get some of that stuff on free television, please. PBS, please. Let's see. Oh, Des Fafara. I echo your statement of listen to your damn doctor. I can only hope he will continue to be mindful about his health, as you simply do not take cardiac issues of any kind lightly. And I am seriously starting to think that Dan and I are the only 2 people on earth who have not been hit with COVID. Not to jinx anything, of course. Hey, if you haven't got it, good, don't get it. I know I had it at least twice. Because I'm like a sponge. I'll suck everything in. Vinnie Vincent. Miss Althea going on about Vinnie Vincent here. I will believe it when I see it in regards to a release of any music. And when he hits the road for a tour, for that matter. Yeah, it's all kind of, I don't believe it either. And there is a joke somewhere about 2-inch tape master. I just haven't found it yet. Don't get me wrong. I do love Vinnie. But his track record, excuse the pun, with any number of announcements is not particularly stellar. Mitch LaFawn, that's it. Mitch LaFawn is the Canadian interviewer guy whose name was escaping you. Go listen to his interview. If you've never seen it, I took some Vinnie Vincent audio clips and I made the video. Vinnie Vincent was my Uber driver. And it is probably one of the best Vinnie Vincent, I mean, like wackadoo crazy what interviews that you'll ever hear. And it's Rock Talk with Mitch LaFawn, and he's interviewing Vinnie Vincent. It is on Spotify because that's where I listen to it, but it is also on YouTube. Go listen to that whole interview. That's when he was getting ready to do one of his Christmas parties or something, where you pay, I don't know, $1,000 to get in, and he made like a bunch of cold salads. He made like a potato salad, macaroni salad. I do love any, but his track record, excuse the puns, announcement, yes. Mitch LaFawn is the Canadian interviewer guy whose name was escaping you. Yes, thank you for that. Miss Althea on Steel Panther and Joey Fatone. Right? Okay. Is a segment of Steel Panther show like the Song Styles, the quote-quote Song Styles game on Whose Line Is It Anyway? I remember that. Yeah, they give them a song to sing about, and then they had to just kind of come up with the tune. And they keep trading off. And since when does Joey look like a Jersey Shore reject? Oh, my virgin. NSYNC ears. Damn. I always mix up all them bands, but did NSYNC had Justin Timberlake, who, you know, went on to stardom, and the rest of them kind of floundered and failed, right? Or am I wrong? I don't know. But they did Bye Bye Bye. And bye bye bye. If you wanna make it up. Still Miss out there here to end this whole thing up. She says, I have seen a few episodes of Beyond Belief, although not for a very long time, and I can concur it is god awful. I had no idea it was on for 4 seasons, though definitely need to revisit it when I need a good laugh. And another great thing, everything about it is so good. But when they come out of a story, Jonathan Frakes has got to do one of those little ha-has. You know, he says, you know, something's about a car wreck or something. And he says, was this story true? Or did we just put the brakes on you? You know what I mean? He's always doing something like that. It's absolutely hair-raisingly terrible and bad. And I enjoy every minute of it. All right, let's freestyle on out of here. I'm wishing you all the best in the world. I want you to take damn good care of yourself. Do some touchy toes. Do some jumpy jacks. Do some deep breathing. Another thing I've been doing is just turning everything off. I don't really call it meditation, but it's just driving in silence, sitting in silence. I try and do that for 20 or 30 minutes a day. I fail most times, but maybe you want to try that out. I wish you all the best in the world. I hope you guys know that. And we're going to try and just do something here. No. Oh. Now sit right back and we're having fun. It's time to go. Jive Talkin's over now. Can't you have one more day? I'm falling apart. I don't know what to say. My God, this is really bad. Bad, terrible bad. Oh my God. Keyboard solo. That's a terrible beat. Jive Talkin. Hi. I'm sorry about that.